Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today were the New York Knicks just lucky to beat the Boston Celtics? What are we talking about? Well, as you guys know, last week the New York Knicks closed out the Boston Celtics in 6 games on their home court in MSG. And a lot of the sports talk that I've been seeing over the last week, or even just during over the entire course of the series, have been giving the Knicks a lot of credit for stepping up to the moment, for challenging the champs, and just being a better team over the course of a 7-game series than the Boston Celtics. Even though we did have injuries, Porzingis was, dealing with something like for several months now. Tatum obviously tore his Achilles, but even though with all those other factors, I think most people were kind of accepting, hey, the New York Knicks just outplayed the Boston Celtics. Well, somebody that is saying that that is not the case and that the Boston Celtics were actually the better team and that the Knicks were just lucky to beat them is Paul Pierce, who went on to his TV show on Monday and said that the only reason that the Knicks were able to beat the Celtics in 6 games is because they got lucky. And he's not saying they're lucky for the reasons that you may be thinking. So we'll go ahead and we'll just play this clip here of Paul Pierce explaining why the Knicks got lucky in this series, and then we'll react. And also just an FYI too, Fox is copyright shark, so I probably won't be able to show the video here, so we'll end up just having to put a picture over the video here, but you guys will still be able to hear the audio. So let's go ahead and hear what Paul had to say about this.
This was luck. I mean, no, think about this. No, I'm serious. And I say this every year in the playoffs. In order to win a title, you have to be good and lucky. If I'd have told you Boston's going to be up the first 2 home games by 20 points and they're going to lose both of them, you have to have a little luck on your side. And the Knicks got lucky. We broke an NBA record for them.
They're lucky, yes, for Boston blowing those leads. But that's also means that Boston maybe isn't the better team that you think about if they're capable of blowing back-to-back 20-point leads.
Misses. We didn't expect that. Like, coming into this, we're going to say, the game plan for us Knicks, we got hope the Boston Celtics miss an NBA record, and then we'll have a chance, you guys. But they did. I won a title. We got lucky, too. You want me to tell you why we got lucky? Because in game 3, we were down 20 points, and we can't walk them down and won in a game we're not supposed to win. Yeah. I'm not even looking at the Knicks like they just outplayed us.
So is he just saying that every time someone blows a lead, it's luck? Is that his theory here?
They outworked them. They probably got some hustle and some calls there, and we missed shots. I'm not out here going to revamp. Like, if we came back healthy, it's not a move. You think about this. When you win a championship, you're like, all right, we need this, we need that. There's nothing on the Knicks that tell me we need to revamp our roster to beat them. Look, this is how I saw. Think about this. You have 2 boxers, go 12 rounds. I'll beat you up for 11 rounds, and then you caught me in the 12, and you slept me. Yep. Who was the better fighter?
The one that won.
But I beat you up for 11 rounds, though.
The one that won. The one that knocked you out.
You got lucky. You threw an overhead beat.
Ain't no luck. All right, somebody who.
I love that, too. He's like, I mean, the guy that's knocked out cold at the end of a boxing match, that's actually the guy that won, right? That's the guy that won, right? No, that's not how it works, Paul. Oh, my man, big fella. Got to learn to hold an L. You had to walk like 20 miles or whatever in your slippers to your TV show because you made a bet that the Celtics couldn't cash. Come on, man. The Knicks are just a better team this entire series. You could make the argument that, and that's even the thing, too. It's kind of like puzzling with this. You actually could make the argument if you're Boston. You could say, like, hey, if Jason Tatum doesn't tear his Achilles in game 4, we know that we win game 5. If we got Tatum healthy in game 6, even though we know that he just played the best game of his life in MSG in game 4, he'd bring it back for game 6. And if we win game 6, there's no way in heck that you guys are going to beat us in game 7 at the TD Garden in Boston. That'd be one way to put it. But just to say that, like, oh my God, Boston blew 2 20-point leads, that means it had to be luck. Like, I think that's really what his opinion was. It's like every time a team blows a big lead, it's just luck. No, it's incompetence from the other team. Now, is it 100% one way or the other? Is it 100% luck? Is it 100% incompetence? Is it 100% credit to the Knicks for doing that? No. It's definitely a mix of each. It might be 70%. Hey, the Knicks were really good in this series, and then the Celtics just were settling for bad shots, which they tend to do a lot, which is kind of the Achilles heel of that basketball team for the most part, is they settle for threes more often than not. And then, as you could see in, what was it, game one, that they missed all of those threes, when they're not hitting them, they don't have that second move. They don't have that other card that they can play. It's almost like they're too programmed of just spamming threes all the time. If you just look over the course of this 82 game season, yeah, the Boston Celtics were a better team than the New York Knicks. But this series, in a 7-game series, how it played out, the New York Knicks were the better basketball team. A few numbers for you guys here. The Knicks had a over 5 rebounds a game advantage in this series. They turned the ball over 2 times less a game than Boston did. They outscored Boston in the paint on average 56-42. They shot a higher field goal percentage than Boston this series. They had more assists this entire series. They held Boston to 98.6 per 100 possessions on the defensive side of the ball. That's the Knicks defense. Jalen Brunson was the best player in this series. Josh Hart was giving the Boston Celtics fits on both sides of the ball. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby were two-way stars. Mikal Bridges obviously making key defensive plays in crunch time when it mattered to seal playoff games. OG Anunoby obviously getting hot when they needed him to. Cat, a little bit up and down. The shooting wasn't necessarily the best for him, but it seems like he's maybe dealing with some sort of a hand injury. It's maybe why he wasn't, letting it fly that much from 3, but he still had some really good moments in the series. The Boston Celtics had to resort to doing a hack of Mitch Robinson. That's how screwed they thought they were in this series. And that's even the thing, too, if you're the New York Knicks. Mitchell Robinson only played like 17 games in the regular season. What if they had him for 50 games? What if they had him for 65 games this year? Do all of a sudden, is this Knicks team like a high 50 wins team instead of a 51 win team? Is that the case? The whole point of the Boston Celtics, the whole point of when people were talking about the Celtics this season and even going into this playoffs, even though they might have been banged up at different times with different parts of their roster, the reason that the Celtics were having a lot of people say, hey, I think they can repeat. I think they can at least go back to the finals. I think they can at least go back to the conference finals, was when you looked at Boston, when they had their best 5 on the court, their best 5 theoretically would be better than every other team's best 5 guys in the NBA. That wasn't the case this series. New York had the best 5-man lineup, and they proved it over the course of 7 games. And even though you have the Tatum injury, which was tragic at the end of game 4, it looked like the Knicks were going to close out that game and be up 3-1. Now, does this game go 7? If that's the case, if Tatum stays healthy, I don't know. Do the Knicks play a closer game 6? I don't know. But I think the Knicks probably would have closed out this series. That's what the momentum was feeling like after that game. And you got to give the Knicks credit. They were the better team. They proved it. And I believe they're favorites right now to go to the NBA Finals. Not to win it, but they have a good chance to go it. And this is the best thing that's happened to the Knicks in like 25 years. So shout out to the Knicks. Tremendous series. Maybe some of your Rowdy fans, maybe stop throwing trash. I'm okay with the celebrations. Glad you guys, got to feel something, got to feel some pride in your city and your team. But yeah, this will be the last thing I'll say on this, and then we'll go. Because I don't know if Paul here, if I'm just making sense of this, I don't think he is. But is he doing a bit? I don't know if this is a bit of his, because maybe because this is a basketball video, maybe a lot of people don't know much about college football. But in college football for ESPN, Desmond Howard, if you don't know who Desmond Howard is, he's a long time. He won the Heisman at Michigan, and he's on College Game Day. And Desmond Howard does this like 4 or 5 times a year. He has an absurd Ohio State football take that's just absolutely absurd. And it's something I always clock, because I'm always constantly scouring the internet trying to find different takes to react to for this show. And there's been just so many with Desmond Howard. I'm like, what? I completely disagree with that. But then he's done it enough where I've kind of picked up on the fact that, hey, Desmond's doing this. He's not saying what he's saying because he believes it. He's saying what he's saying to troll. And he's saying what he's saying to trigger Ohio State fans to freak out and flip out. And, whether he has opinion on the program, their fans, their head coach, their players, whatever it is, his whole purpose of doing it is to troll Ohio State fans. So it's a little bit different because obviously Ohio State, Michigan, like arch deep rivals. Knicks, Boston, obviously there's the New York Boston thing, but there's really not a like how many times did Paul play the Knicks in the playoffs, if ever? Did only one time? Maybe only one time in his career he played the Knicks in the playoffs, and I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's the only thing I could think of giving him the benefit of the doubt on this take is maybe he's just trolling, and this is just a bit. If that's the case, he got me, because I obviously talked about this for like 9 minutes. But yeah, shout out to the Knicks. Best of luck to you. Don't rough up my guy Hallie too much though. Don't rough up Hallie. There's going to be that conference finals is just going to be bonkers. It's going to be bonkers. I bet we're going to get some fights. We're going to get some blood spill. We're going to get some celebrities going to, do something in MSG. It's going to be wild. I can't wait. This is absolute cinema of basketball. And us NBA fans, we deserve this, man. We deserve good competitive series. And that's what we're going to get in these next 2 rounds here. So that'll do it for this video here today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Again, number one way that you can help support this podcast. It costs you absolutely $0. You can hit the bell icon. You'll get updates or get a notification every time a new video drops. And again, leave a comment what you think. Usually I say leave a comment what you think about the video. I guess you can still do that. Leave comment what you think. Who's going to win the finals this year? Who's going to win each conference finals? What's our finals matchups going to be? Let me know what you think. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And feel free to check out other videos on the Sports Detective Podcast channel page. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you for watching.